The air was thick with anticipation as Jack and I pulled into the secluded clearing by the river. Towering trees loomed overhead, their branches swaying gently in the evening breeze. With the last rays of sunlight casting a golden hue over the landscape, we quickly set to work, eager to make camp before darkness descended upon us. As we unloaded our gear from the car, the sound of rushing water filled the air, the river glistening like a ribbon of liquid silver in the fading light. We found the perfect spot for our tent, nestled beneath the protective canopy of a massive oak tree. With the tent erected and a crackling fire dancing in the fire pit, we settled onto our makeshift log seats, the warmth of the flames chasing away the evening chill. Jack cracked open a couple of beers, the cold cans sweating in the humid air as we toasted to our adventure beneath the stars. The distant hooting of an owl and the chirping of crickets provided the soundtrack to our conversation, punctuated by occasional bursts of laughter as we reminisced about old times and shared hopes for the trip ahead. The rhythmic flow of the river provided the perfect backdrop for our idle conversation, until suddenly, a spine-chilling scream shattered the peaceful atmosphere. Our heads snapped towards the source of the sound, and our hearts pounded with fear. It seemed to come from the other side of the river. We exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what lay beyond. The scream was followed by a maniacal laughter that echoed through the air, sending shivers down our spines. We watched in disbelief as someone suddenly emerged from the trees on the opposite bank and plunged into the water. His wild laughter carried across the river, growing louder with each stroke. Panic seized us, and we grasped at anything we could find to arm ourselves. With makeshift weapons in hand, we anxiously awaited the swimmer's arrival. But then, as if possessed by some unseen force, the swimmer abruptly turned around and swam back to where he came from. His haunting laughter faded into the distance. We were left bewildered and shaken, wondering what kind of person would engage in such unsettling behavior. Night draped its inky cloak across the wilderness as we settled into our tent, still on edge from the strange events. Just as we began to drift into an uneasy slumber, a sudden disturbance jolted us awake. The tent shook violently, as if gripped by an unseen force. The laughter that followed was unmistakable, the same unhinged, maniacal laughter that had haunted us earlier. Terror coursed through our veins as we fumbled for our flashlights, desperate to shed light on the source of our torment. With trembling hands, we unzipped the tent and rushed outside, our hearts pounding against our chests. But to our horror, there was nobody there, not a soul in sight. The laughter dissipated into the night, leaving behind an unnerving silence. After we managed to free ourselves from the tent, we quickly gathered our most essential belongings, casting wary glances in every direction. Armed with makeshift sticks for self-defense, we hurriedly made our way towards the spot where our car was parked. But just as we were about to speed away, a sudden impact against the car's window startled us. Someone had thrown a rock, shattering the glass, and the same chilling screams pierced the air once more. Fueled by adrenaline, we wasted no time in fleeing the scene, choosing not to involve the police since we hadn't actually seen the person who had threatened us. Thankfully, we managed to make it back home to New York unharmed. We decided to put the camping incident behind us and move on with our lives, erasing any thoughts of future outdoor adventures. You won't believe what happened next. As I walked home from work one night, the chilling laughter echoed behind me once again. My heart sank as I recognized it instantly. Swiftly, I veered into an alleyway, seeking refuge behind a dumpster. The figure in the black cloak trailed after me, their steps heavy with ominous intent. Panic surged within me as he frantically searched for me, unable to locate my hiding spot. This time, I was determined not to let fear paralyze me. With nerves of steel, I watched as he, consumed by his malevolent intentions, began to retreat, convinced he had lost me. Seizing the opportunity, I silently followed his every move, ensuring not to lose sight of him. I dialed the emergency number, and within moments, the police arrived at the location the cloaked figure had entered. The tension thickened as the officers apprehended the mysterious intruder. To my horror, it turned out to be my girlfriend's former husband, consumed by jealousy and unable to accept our relationship. His twisted plan was to slowly drive me to madness, haunting my nights with his sinister presence. But now, his malevolent scheme lay exposed in the harsh glare of reality. As dawn broke, I found solace in the knowledge that I had faced my fears head-on and emerged victorious. Yet, the echoes of his chilling laughter still lingered in the shadows, a haunting reminder of the night's terror.